Mathematics involving significant figures. So if you're taking some numbers and multiplying and dividing them or whatever, and each number only has a specified number of sig figs, how many digits do you report your answer to? And when I was first thinking about this, I thought, man, this is not applicable at all. Because each measurement, yeah, it has the number of sig figs, but what's important is the uncertainty, right? Like 10 meters plus or minus 2.6 meters or something, right? It's that uncertainty that needs to be propagated through. However, no, this is very applicable. Look at the decimal place this thing is off, way down there. But this missile travels so dang fast that it's just by that rounding error that they screwed up on, it's still off by half a kilometer, right? So if you want a missile to land here, half a kilometer is kind of a big error. You don't want that. So, and they're not messing with propagating uncertainties. They're something else. So it is applicable. So let's see if we can figure out this first answer here. Angelica, we are going to add or subtract some numbers. And, each one has significant figures to it. How would you do it? You have three options there, A, B, and C. All right. Anybody have an idea? Did you guess? Yeah, I'll just start adding. I think, didn't Javier, someone said line them up? Did someone say line them up? Man, he's getting those points. That's a really good visualization, because line them up. Let's say you're adding up all these numbers, 730.1, 68, 2.006, right? You line them up. Line them up. I kind of like that visual. Because look, this guy, it's really clear. This guy has no clue about tenths, hundredths, thousandths, nothing. You can't, his measurement isn't that good. You can't be using that number and then report your answer with the tenths or hundredths, thousandths. No way. Because look at that number. He totally destroyed your resolution. So I like the idea of lining them up. So you're going to report your answer to the ones place, right? The least resolution, the measurement with the worst resolution. He's the one who determines everything. You report your answer to the ones place. Now you don't do your rounding to the very end, right? You keep all your digits and do your rounding at the very end, but you report your answer to the ones place. So which answer up there, A, B, or C, seems to fit?
C. The least decimal places out of all many.
Yeah, it's the decimal place that matters. It's the decimal place. It's the decimal place, right? So you can line them up. Like Kevin said, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so go ahead and try it. All right, we've got a couple examples there. And you do everything in the calculator. Oh, you might need a light. Yeah? You hit Javier in the head with it. He doesn't have one either. But did I? Yeah, that was nice. Okay. Someone give me their answer here. Andrew. Oh, you don't have it done yet here. Plug it all in and tell me what you want to say the final answer is. Not all the digits and all their glory, just the answer with the right number of sig figs in it. He says 7.3. Yeah, it sounds right. All I know is that just you can't go past the tenths place. And if it's a zero find, you have to say 0.0. But yeah, it looks like 7.3 doesn't change.
So that rounding up doesn't, because it's 7.27. So that probably coming up to 7.3.
Oh, that when you did it on the calculator, it was 7.27?
Yes.
Yeah.
7.27, but they
Good.
round up.
Good. Yeah, you got to do it. This is one way that people did it. They did this underlining thing. And that works. But the answer is really 7.3. Right? So 7.3 is right.
So you don't do all the rounding until
The very end.
And then, but if you had like that divided by something else, would you?
Then you don't do any. Yeah, we're going to get to it. I don't do any rounding to the very end. Other people sometimes might do that. You might see a number of different ways, but 7.3 works for me. It's a final answer. Try B. Brad, what'd you get? 229.
It's because those two zeros are written in the first one.
All right.
So those two zeros are single?
Write in, if you're not sure, write in scientific notation. Right? So whatever answer you give me, it better go to the hundredths place. Right? So it sounds like 229 point something or other.
0.04.
0.04. Yeah, stop there. Okay. Now we're getting into multiplying and dividing. You've got three options. You're multiplying and dividing a bunch of numbers. Report your answer to A, the same number of sig figs as the measurement with the least number of sig figs. B, the same number of sig figs as the measurement with the most number of sig figs. Or C, the least decimal place out of all measurements. I guess that's the same possibilities. Victoria, what would you guess? B or C? B takers? No? C? No? A? Yeah. Yeah. Man, I thought the answer was B when I first said it. Yeah, you picked the worst measurement out of the bunch. Try it. Man, you got it. Oh, let's just do A and B first because there's no adding in there. And we'll get to what Eric's talking about. And if you take a look at a number and you're not sure how many sig figs are in that number, just write it in scientific notation. That'll tell you. You think that would be a simple thing for them to do? Jamie, what did you say A is? .1, and then she's saying times something. I wasn't sure what she said, but I like the 4.1 part because I don't know if the answer's right, but I'm saying I see 2 sig figs. She picked the answer with only 2 sig figs in it. She's reporting her answer to 2 sig figs. So 4.1 times 10 to 10 to the 4th. Did anybody else get that? Yeah, that's got to be it. All right. All right. How about B? What did you get for B, Mariella? She says 3 sig figs. Now this guy has 1, 2, 3. He has 5. He's got 4. Oh yeah, she got it. Only 3 sig figs. Very good. 5.14 times 10 to the 6. Okay, this is what Eric was talking about, right? Combining them. Combining these rules. If you were going to do this on your calculator, Jose, and assuming you didn't have Eric's, right? Because look at this thing. You don't even have to worry about operations. You just plug it in, right? Let's say you had Daisy's. Hold yours up, Daisy. You have that one. Who am I talking to anyway? I forgot. Jose. Okay. What would you do first? Do what's in parentheses first, this part. Right. Okay, so you pretty much have to. You got to do this part in parentheses first. And follow the rules. And whatever you get, kind of like, I don't know, let's say you get 612.892, I'm just making something up, in that parentheses, but that tenth place is your last significant figure. So I kind of underline it so I can keep track. I have 1, 2, 3, I have 4 sig figs, but I can't do any rounding till the very end. So that's how I keep track of this. So I'll put my answer on top of this one or somewhere by it, and just kind of underline the last sig fig. So then when I finish this, I can keep track of everything. Do the same thing over here. Right, so do what's in parentheses first. Do this part. Subtract the 2. See if you can keep track of it.
So then when you multiply those first two, you're going to 3 sig figs before you subtract the second.
Well, you report all your digits, but just do a little underline of the last sig fig.
That's what I did like that.
All right.
So then once you're like at that point, you don't.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
You enter it in the calculator.
Whoa. No.
No?
You messed up somewhere. See if you can see it. So see if you can get it, and I'll start. I borrowed out all my calculators. Javier, I got to take my calculator back.
Oh, because of the sig figs on the zeros are going to be something like this.
Okay, this is how I started out. I don't have a final answer yet, but see, I did this section, and I underlined my last digit. So that way, by doing that, I can tell I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sig figs. Because I needed to know that in order to figure out the last step. Do these two, I got this big answer, but 1, 2, 3 digits, 1, 2, 3, 4 digits, only 3 of them are good. So I underline him. So if I'm going to subtract those two numbers, right? I should probably write this one in decimal format. It's going to be easier to see. Right? It's under the 1. And you're going to subtract that. Yep. For what's inside the parentheses, I have to report my answer to the one with the least resolution because it's adding or subtracting. So here I'm going to the hundredths place. Over here I'm going way over to some 10,000. So I have to report my answer to the hundredths place. So I should really write 23.04, but I have to carry all my digits because no rounding until the very end. That's the purpose of the underline. Or circle it or something. Indicate it somehow.
So even when you're going between operations, like you still report all your digits in the calculations.
Oh, you carry everything until you hit equals. and do rounding at the very end.
So, but what were you saying I was doing wrong? Because that's what I was doing.
You didn't look. You had this part wrong. You did something wrong right here that I saw. So do you see how we did this now? So your final answer, you see how I got this one? 4 digits, 3 digits, so 3 digits. But I changed it to this format because now we're subtracting, and I can't tell where I'm at here. My brain isn't that fast. So, but now I can, once I write it in decimal format, 0.00121, oh man, it's way too far, right? This guy, oh, I forgot my underline. He's only to the hundredths place. So I need to report my answer to the hundredths place. Yep.
If we're doing our graphing calculator, we don't have to show all of this.
You can do your graphing calculator fine, but you better keep track of your sig figs.
Well, we only need it at the very end, right? Whatever has
Do whatever you if you want to try to take shortcuts, great, but you have to show that it's going to work, right?
So if we're doing the graphing
So let's get a final answer here, and then we'll see. What is it? Negative.
yeah, negative 2.3.
Negative 23 point. Okay, I wrote down everything, right? But I can only go to the hundredths place. Everybody agrees, right? So it's this guy. So I should report my answers at negative 23.04. So I guess my answer to you, Matt, is if you can keep track of the sig figs somehow, because the graphic calculator is going to do it for you. If you can keep track of the sig figs in there, yeah, everyone's going to come out with the exact same final numerical answer. But in order to keep track of the sig figs, it seems to me you got to do certain things in a certain order. But if you can keep track of them, that works.
But what about, doesn't 2.30 have a less number of
We're subtracting. We're subtracting. So now you have to go to the worst resolution. Like Kevin said, line them up, and he only goes to the hundredths place. He goes way out there.
So at that last step, you need to make sure you're not scientific notation.
Yeah, I mean, unless you can see it, right? I can't. I got to write it out. It's a lot easier. It's not worth, even if you, I learned this is the hard way, with my brain. Everyone learns how they think themselves, I guess. But when I do stuff in my head, it's not worth the trouble. You go through all this work, you make some stupid little mistake because you try to do something in your head. So I just write it out. It takes 1 second to write it out.
So what's the answer?
Negative 23.04.
So you follow the rule for the addition.
You have to because it's subtraction. At the very last step is subtraction.
So you follow the last, not for the last part of the equation. The rule for the last part of the equation. Did that make sense?
You follow this rule for the last step. Okay. Okay, let's try one more together, and then we can work the rest of these together. You can go to the boards or something. Try this one to make sure everyone knows what they're doing. All right? Let's try it. Did you get 5.34?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be only 2 since it's 28.
Oh, the problem, that's really good, Jamie. If that 240.1 isn't there, you're right. But you have to do this part first in your parentheses. So that means you have to follow the rules for adding and subtracting. And when you follow the rules for adding and subtracting, you end up with 268.1. You end up increasing your number of sig figs.
So the previous sig figs don't matter, right? Since you're gonna do
And addition and subtraction kind of just line them up like Kevin was talking about. So you line up 28 and line up 240.1. It's the right? Yeah, so 1 is worse than the tenths. So you have to line up to the ones place. You have to line up to the ones place. There's nothing here. So your worst resolution is now in the ones place, not the tenths. So I'll underline the 8.
So then in the, it's because then here you record this as 3 sig figs because you have to take into account that it's only 3. You know what I mean? So this is.
So we're okay with this?
So and this is going to be what?
I don't understand how you went from one tenths box to having an accuracy.
This is only 3 sig figs as well.
Yeah, it looks odd, doesn't it? The reason why we really increased our sig figs because it's like saying you have 28 apples plus 712 apples. Now you have a lot more apples, but you didn't change the resolution at all. Right? We're still talking about an apple as a whole. So that's really all we're doing. But we're not messing with the tenths place. We totally lost it because this guy dropped him.
So you carry your decimals all the way through, but you still have to keep track of the number of sig figs. Like, so you add there, and you are in 3 sig figs because this is the only thing you can report to, right?
Yeah. Just kind of imagine, pretend that, this part isn't there.
So it's like you still put it in the calculator, but then once you.
Oh yeah, everything stays in the calculator.
You just have to
Yep.
remember that
Oh, he's still
that
doing this.
underline is your number of sig figs, basically.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
What I was doing before, I would during the calculations, if I had like an addition on top, and then if it was a fraction, I would do the addition. When I put it in the calculator the next time, I would report it only to the sig figs. You know what I mean?
No. Okay. Let's try some. We can go through these quick. You guys want to go to the boards or not? You look kind of tired. All right. How about A, B, and C? A, what's the answer? Good. 5. B, what's the answer? Good. C, what's the answer? Excellent. Round this guy to 4 sig figs. You would say 1.237. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. 1.238. 3 sig figs. 5. 2 sig figs. 2.1. 3 sig figs. Okay. Actually, what they're playing with here is they're trying to. There's a good movie about this. This guy, he worked in a bank, and whenever they do these big calculations, what do you do with that? Like you're gonna round this, right? So you lose that hundredth or a thousandth of a penny, and he put all those hundreds, thousands of pennies that were dropped into his own bank account. All right, it was a really good show. But the point is that you can't. That statistically you're biasing your data. So what you should do is you just pick one. Okay, I'm going to pick all odd numbers, right? After the 5. I'm talking about after the 5. The numbers after the 5. If it's odd, I'll just do this. How come I can't erase anymore? If it's all odd, I'm going to round up. If it's an even number, I'm going to round down. And you're supposed to make that rule. Right? So for example, with the 5, 1, odd, so round down. If it's a 7, round down. Right? Or even round down. Odd round up. That's what they want the book talks about that to try to prevent bias. And that guy wouldn't have made any money if he would have done that. Okay. So how you want to do it is more like if you're going to work on a big research project, you had a lot of numbers to work with, that's something that you should probably be concerned with. But I think this is the tough stuff. We should work on this. Right? See if you can knock out these. So how you want to do your rounding here, it really doesn't. The book really doesn't follow through with what they're saying, so I'm not going to really go with it. See if you can get answers for these. Well, you need to figure out. You need to figure out the final result, the final answer, right? Because anybody can do it on their calculator. That's the answers are there. To the correct number of sig figs. Underline or round, right? There. Or not bonus, brownie points. Okay. See if you can figure these out. Then we'll call it a day. Yeah, get answers. You have answers for the other ones? Oh, you already got them.
Oh, I do.
Good. Okay. Hey, how would you report your answer in C? 4.0 times 10 to the 1 is the only way to do it, really. Right? You can't say 40. Because the problem is all those darn reporters. It's 40 miles over there. Well, it could be 39, it could be 41. So it's our English language that kind of screws you up.
You don't put like 40 points.
You could do 40 point, that's true. Yeah. Just don't put 0.0.
But if you just leave it without the point, then it's like.
Yeah, you're gonna. It's not clear. Yeah, how many sig figs? That won't work.
4.0 times 10 to the 1
Is 40.
not the same as 40.
No. 40. How many sig figs are in 40? Could be 1, could be 2. You don't really know. It's not clear. Just like when you say 100, 200, 300, you just don't know. 1,000. Without writing in scientific notation. What'd you get for the last one? No, for that one. The brownie point question.
Oh, I didn't do it.
I don't know.
I didn't do it.
Well, you're not going to get any brownie points.
Here's the final number if you don't round anything until you solve, and then the two numbers that go into division as 3 significant figures.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go over there. Would have 3 or 4.
Well, hold on.
Because you take this minus this, you're still going to that thousands place. Ye- Yeah, so you gotta be careful. I haven't asked the brownie point king. Oh, really good question. Logs and anti-logs? Oh, that's in the homework for tomorrow, for next class? I think we're gonna have to go to the reading. Let's find it. To the reading. The reading. See if you can find that in the chapter, and we'll look at it. I don't know. I just made it up. But we can work it out. Oh, there it is. Jessica, you have to look on page 41 and 42. Page 42. I don't know.
But if the last thing you're doing is that you're doing the top version, then you're doing the bottom. Because at the bottom, if your resolution was the worst resolution,
I know, I multiplied that all 4 of those expressions by the last one.
Oh, my stupid calculator.
the final subdivision, so it's
Let's read to the third, down to the ones.
I got that 3.571. Kevin's got 3.6. I got 3.571.
Distribute to the thousands. All right, you have to add a 0 on there.
I mean, you get the same answer. It doesn't matter what answer you get, it's just the same thing. That's why I write it out like this. Each step is just 2. But really all that matters is your sig figs in the last one. If you just identify the last calculation you have to do, and then see the sig figs, you go into it.
Yeah. So I have 4 sig figs divided by 4 sig figs. I have 4 sig figs divided by 4 sig figs in my answer. You should be reporting your answer to 4 sig figs. So 3.571. So who do I owe brownie points to? Woohoo!
I feel like it was 10 minutes.
The gold star.
I gotta go
Yeah. All right. So if you can do something like this, man, you can do anything that's going to be in the homework. Okay. So come by if you have some questions. I'll be glad to help you out with this stuff, or we can make up some more problems.